Happy Wednesday afternoon, the day before Thanksgiving. I'm Deborah Roth, Spirited Living, and I have a whole bunch of sort of gratitude based, well, I guess if that's how you want to put it, things to share with you today. Obviously, because it's the day before Thanksgiving, and even in light of that, really looking at what this day really means, and not all the layers of Pilgrims and Indians and that, and I've used those words purposefully, that the crock that we were fed growing up. But it all comes back to, and I'll read for you in a little bit, this really wonderful, I thought, just perfect way to describe how we can embrace this day of Thanksgiving, day of gratitude, and expand it to include other types of gratitude, and also to transform it into what we really know to be the truth, which is that it is a Native American day of mourning, and what the colonists did when they came in the 1600s, and then for centuries, and it still goes on, how they very systematically worked to annihilate the native people in this land. And if you've never read it, Bury My Heart at Wounded Knee shows really with each nation how we systematically attempted to wipe them out. I cried all the way through it when I read it 20 years ago. It was one of my introductions to earth-centered spirituality, which brings me to the other piece that I want to, hi Kathy, the other piece that I want to really bring in, and that's that no matter what we're doing right now, we are on the earth. We've given the earth a little pause. Well, we didn't give it to her, the COVID did. And how do we honor the earth in all of her divinely feminine wisdom? The word Gaia we've become very familiar with. It's ancient, really, from Greek mythology. Gaia was considered to be the primordial, raw example of maternal love and power. She was born out of chaos, which I think is kind of interesting. She was not, chaos didn't give birth to her. She appeared and brought structure to the chaos that existed at that point. So the myth goes. She gave birth to Uranos, who was the basically father sky, and he became her consort, her partner, and then she proceeded to give birth to the rest of life in the world, to the fates, to the muses, but also to the ocean, well, she'd already given birth to the sky, the ocean, mountains, animals, creatures. Ultimately, she gave birth to all. Hi, welcome all who's here. Ilo, what fun. So Gaia, and Gaia in modern times, we've certainly heard of Gaia because of the Gaia Hypothesis or the Gaia theory, which is really kind of came out in a while ago now. But the idea is that all aspects, all living and not living beings on this planet are in a symbiotic relationship with each other. And in that relationship, we support each other and keep the planet going. That's a pretty lame description of what the Gaia Hypothesis is, but it is that we all function together. So it's really a message of unity, of support, and there are lots of images of Gaia out there. If you Google her, you'll find them. One of my favorites, and I actually used her for a while this summer. This is what was his name? Let me find his name. He has this wonderful name. Who created this millennial Gaia, she was called. And if you look closely, you just see, I'm going to get a glare from her, but check her out too. And the idea with this millennial goddess is that she she really embodies all of what. And when you see her up close, so make sure that you definitely do Google her and take a good look at her. That she embodies all of what it is that we're celebrating right now. And to do that, and as I said, I'm going to bring in some other pieces here, and that is a real honoring of Native American traditions. The whole notion of gratitude has been honored in those traditions for millennia, probably. We certainly know about them over the last several centuries. But in many Native American traditions and nations, all of their ceremonies begin with an honoring of Mother Earth, of all of the elements of creatures, all of the things that she's given birth to, of minerals, animals, plants, the four directions, of course. In the Buddhist tradition, they begin Buddhist ceremonies start with an honoring of gratitude every morning. And then in Tibetan nuns and monks actually have a gratitude ceremony that they do regularly that honors their capacity to suffer, which helps them, they believe, to grow. So gratitude shows up in all kinds of amazing ways through this process. And what I wanted to do in particular, introducing you, if you haven't seen that beautiful rendition of the Millennial Goddess, I'm trying to find the guy's name, and he's not, oh, there he is. Okay, Oberon Zell is the sculptor that created that beautiful image. And this is actually, I don't have a Gaia statue. You all know, you've seen me whip out my various goddesses that I have around my closet. This is actually a triple goddess based on the three faces of Native American divine feminine. At the bottom is, she is from the Oneida tribe. She's called, let me see if I get her name right. Apologies if I'm not pronouncing it correctly. Aliquipsio. She's a warrior goddess of the Oneida. So she's the maiden. Sorry, she's on top. she's the maiden image. The mother image is the yellow. Let's see. She's called Yellow Woman. She's the Pueblo mother goddess image. And in the bottom, with a crown of, I don't know how well you can see her, with a crown of tobacco leaves, is Grandmother Spider. And she was considered the wise woman crone of the maiden mother crone here. There aren't really a lot of representations of goddesses or the divine feminine in Native American traditions. Apparently there are more in the northwestern region. And so this was compiled based on oral traditions and oral history. So that's my triple goddess. And the reason that I bring her in, as I said, is that I want to I want to reclaim this holiday as one that has to do with gratitude, with unity, coming together, and not in the way that we were taught as we were kids. If you Google the true story of Thanksgiving, you'll get an eyeful. So what I would like to do, a couple things. I'll read for you first, I think. I'm going to teach you a chant that's a thank you chant. That's a favorite thing that happens in, hello Tiffany, lovely to see you. The thank you chant is a favorite one in my women's circles, and I'll sing that for you. But what I wanted to do first, and I think I will do it first, is to read for you this wonderful piece from a Native American chef, fairly well-known, CEO of something called the Sioux Chef. His name is Sean Sherman, excuse me. And he acknowledges the painful and complicated feelings that Native Americans have about this holiday. But he offers up some new ways, and just the way that he describes it I thought was so eloquent. So I'm just going to read it straight for you. The thing is, We do not need the poisonous Pilgrims and Indians narrative. We do not need that illusion of past unity to actually unite people today. And boy, is unity a big theme today, isn't it? Instead, we can focus simply on the values that apply to everybody: togetherness, generosity, and gratitude. And you can make the day all about what everybody wants to talk and think about anyway, the food. And then he goes on to say, people may not realize it, but what every person in the country shares, and the very history of this nation, has been in front of us the whole time. Most of our Thanksgiving recipes are made with indigenous foods: corn, beans, pumpkins, maple, wild rice, and of course turkey. We should embrace that. So I invite you to think about that as you move into whatever your Thanksgiving celebration will look like this year. Most likely very different than it's looked other years, but focus on where you can both personally express and acknowledge gratitude, what you're grateful for in your life, and then globally, beyond that. So this is the chant I want to end with. I want to share with you to go off and sing the rest of the day. We joke about it in my circles that it's sort of like goddess rock. So goes like this. Thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, Sister Water. Thank you for my birth. Thank you from your daughter. And if you're a guy, you can sing from your sons and daughters. Thank you, Father Sky. Thank you, air and motion. Thank you, everyone. Earth, sun, air, and ocean. Oh, thank you, Mother Earth. Thank you, Sister Water. Thank you for my birth. Thank you from your daughter. Thank you, Father Sky. Thank you, air in motion. Thank you, everyone. Earth, sun, air, and ocean. So can you imagine us hitting our tambourines around a table together or around a circle together? And it's just a beautiful way to thank Gaia, to thank Mother Earth for all the blessings that she has bestowed on us. And thank you to our First Nation brothers and sisters who were here so much longer than we have been, who were here much longer than when we arrived. And we honor them on this day tomorrow and think of, as Sean Sherman says, what brings us all together is the yearning, is the need for togetherness, for unity, for gratitude. So enjoy your wonderful day tomorrow, whether you're alone and just thinking about what you're grateful for, or whether you're with any combination of family. Happy Thanksgiving.